On the Ninth Green, written by Thomas Kennedy, narrated by Stephen Miller. Chapter 1. We were on the ninth green when we heard an odd sound, something falling onto the grass. Looking over to the 10th fairway just past the tee box, the wheels of a golf trolley were spinning as it lay on its back. Beside it, Joe lay prone and face down. It seemed like he had just slipped on the grass of the undulating fairway, but he was strangely motionless. As if in slow motion, the remaining three of our 4-ball on the 9th and the 4-ball on the 10th stared and then approached. The group on the 10th had just teed off and were in the process of heading down the 10th fairway, so they reached Joe first. We arrived and stared uselessly. Back of our minds, we were thinking, that's blown the game for today. If he were dead, we could hardly in all decency continue with our round. I think he's a goner, Martin said. He was kneeling beside the body and feeling the neck for a pulse. The 10th was near the clubhouse, and Liam, one of the 4-ball on the 10th, ran in that direction to raise the alarm and get the defibrillator. Martin began to push down on Joe's chest. The following 4-ball coming up the 9th came over. The 4-ball on the 10th green noticed nothing and moved to the 11th and continued with their game. The defibrillator arrived, carried by Liam. Nobody knew how to use it, and Martin continued his CPR while Liam tried to figure it out. The girl from the office, Susan, the young assistant clerk, arrived in a flurry. She burst into tears when she tried an emergency call and discovered her mobile was out of battery. Billy fished his phone out of his golf bag and called an ambulance. Clearly he was in charge now. We just waited and watched. Then Tall Jim, the vice captain, one of our group, went to the 9th tee and took on the task of diverting the following 4-balls. He indicated that the competition of the day would be canceled because the 9th and 10th were closed due to an accident, and pointed following players to the 11th so they would continue and not come and stare at the unfortunate Joe. Susan ran back to the office to get them to contact the club captain, who was believed to be out on the course. We straightened up Joe's golf caddy and clubs and put the tees and balls that had spilled out of the overturned bag back into the pockets and zipped them closed. Then, as we waited, the foghorn sounded from the clubhouse, the signal that they were closing the course. Clearly they had managed to contact the captain. Pandemonium ensued as members began to come in from all parts of the course. The ambulance came. The ambulance driver shook his head. But they took Joe away anyway. The captain decided to cancel the competition and close the course for the day. Emails and texts were sent from the office to advise those on the timesheet, but not yet arrived, that the golf course had been closed for the day. Those coming in off the course crowded into the locker room and then the bar. It became like a wake, although Joe was not yet confirmed dead. As it does, the conversation had moved on from Joe to the upcoming Gaelic football match between Dublin and Kerry. I was on my second pint of Guinness, and having ordered 2 eggs, 1 sausage and chips from the catering, I was getting us settled in feeling. It had started to rain, and we could see the green-gray cloud-covered course from the comfort of the clubhouse as the rain streaked across the windows. We were congratulating ourselves on having avoided a soaking. Nobody voiced this, of course, given the circumstances, but we all felt cozy and sheltered and well fed and watered. The captain arrived at my side at the same time as Orla, the waitress, deposited my sausage, eggs, and chips beside my second pint and cleared away the empty glasses. "A word," he said, bending and indicating with a gesture that I should move away, out of the company for the word. "Excuse us," I said, and picked up my plate and pint, and followed by the captain, I made my way over to the corner of the bar, all the other tables being occupied. My companions noted my departure without comment. "Noisy," he said with a wry smile. I suspect he would have preferred to talk in the office, but he was sensible enough to understand that there was no way I was abandoning my eggs and chips. There was a great buzz in the bar, and the buzz of conversation would ensure
Sample complete. Ready to continue?